So we are back for Golf Therapy Thursdays, and this time I'm with Jann Reid, who is a physiotherapist and has practiced for 30 years,
Yes.
so very experienced, but more recently became a golfer yourself and more focusing on golf and how it relates to the body and all that sort of thing. So thank you for joining me, Jann.
It's a pleasure. Thank you, Anne.
Jann's also a green room member.
Yes.
So very keen golfer. What's your handicap, Jann?
Playing off 12 at the moment.
And you've come down a fair bit.
Well, you've helped me, Anne.
Few years.
Thank you, Anne.
You'll know Jann from our live lessons and some things that Jann's on. So tell me, Jann, what can a physio do to help a golfer in general?
I think physios are good at managing injuries, managing the whole person. So firstly, if you go to a physio, they will assess what your injury is and how they can help you. So that may involve some treatment on the joint, some stretches. They might put a bit of tape on your arm to unload it. But I think the overall management of the problem is what physios do well.
Right. And what's the most common injury that a golfer would get?
Well, I had a look at that, and the figures are interesting. It's low back pain is the main one, then golfer's elbow, then plantar fasciitis, that horrible foot pain underneath your foot, then knee pain, then shoulder pain.
So I'm listening to that thinking from a technique point of view, because obviously that's where I come from with teaching golf, and I think back pain is lack of technique, left arm, lack of technique, chicken wings,
Sure.
and so not turning.
Not being able to turn.
Would give you
that
the
sort
back.
of thing.
Yeah, so obviously technique goes very closely in with injuries and preventing injuries and that sort of thing.
The other thing about injuries is they're mostly due to overuse, or they can be traumatic. We all hit the ball into the club into the ground. We might stumble in a hole.
Right.
Professionals obviously do a lot more work. They do their gym work, they do their whatever, so they have less.
And warming up and...
Warming up's really important.
So avoiding injuries obviously is huge in terms of...
Yeah.
And how do we do that?
So to avoid injuries, firstly you need to go and have a lesson to improve your technique, get more turn, get your arms straight or whatever it is you want to do. Once you've had the lesson, you go and practice. The only thing I would say about practicing is make sure that you intersperse your practice with a bit of stretching.
Okay.
Just so you haven't got your head bent down over the putter for 15 minutes and you stand up and you think, my back's sore.
Or pitching and chipping if you're standing there. Or okay.
Warm up before you play.
And would you say practicing in small, because I always say to my students, don't go and practice for an hour and a half and do that once every month. Go for half an hour and do it 3 times a week. That's
I think you get the most out of it too.
Yeah, definitely.
Concentration span is another factor.
You're not getting tired, you're not getting sore.
And we're all time poor.
That's right. So in terms of preventing injury, that would be better, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Small sessions rather than
I think so.
Big, long sessions.
Yeah, just making sure that you have a couple of stretches in the middle.
So, Jann, I get asked a lot about if you have an injury, how do you cope with that when you're trying to play and you're trying to get it better? So, managing.
So, if you have an injury and you want to keep playing, you need to go and get some advice and some treatment. Well, I'm a bit biased from a physio, but from whoever. Now, this could include, as I said before, some exercises to offload the injured area, some stretching. You could use some tape to reduce the load, use some ice, all those basic things, but you need someone to tell you that.
So the person that maybe if you've had an operation or something, you'd go to your doctor or your physio or someone that you're seeing regularly, get an expert opinion on.
Surgeons usually just send you off to a physio.
Right.
They don't often give you a huge amount of follow-up advice. And I think the way you go back after an injury is really important. So I said, as a general rule, with a soft tissue injury, 2 to 6 weeks. But if you've had a knee replacement or something like that, it might take way longer.
So when you say 2 to 6 weeks, is that with no golf?
Not necessarily.
Right.
I think should be a period of no golf.
Right.
The other thing I have put in capitals here, Anne, is if you do go to a physio, listen to what they say. Because a lot of golfers will say, righto, and they just go back on a Saturday and practice. They may say have a rest for a few weeks, so you should listen to that.
Take that on board.
But when you do go back gradually. Go back and maybe practice, have a few holes.
Take it easy.
Yeah, maybe you play in a cart for a few holes and then walk for a few holes.
So have a period of no golf whatsoever, and then get some advice from your experts.
Yes,
basically.
that's right.
Okay, so what are your 3 top tips, Jann, for golfers in terms of their body, preventing injury and giving themselves the best chance of peak golf performance?
I think technique is the most important thing. So go to your pro and have a lesson and learn the technique. They will set the angles for you. They will talk about ball position. They will talk about, letting the club hang rather than gripping, holding your shoulders. Second one is go out and practice what they teach you, and that involves stretching and warm-up with the body. And the third one is posture. Posture is really important. So you need to
set you up for a good...
Yeah.
You were telling me about a Jack Nicklaus quote
Jack
that you
Nicklaus
read
said,
to me before.
if you set up correctly, there is a good chance you will hit a reasonable shot. If setup is poor, you will hit a lousy shot, even if you made the best swing in the world.
Yes, that's so true. So set yourself up in the first place with the correct posture, because at least you're giving yourself the absolute best
Gives
chance.
you the best chance. So you're utilising everything you possibly can.
And posture's easy. You're fairly stationary. You can, get yourself into the right position and you can practice.
It's very easy, but not many people pay much attention to it.
That's right. I think we just get so focused, don't we, on actually hitting that ball that you can hunch over, and especially if your back's not great, you can tend to round it off because it feels more comfortable. So
that's right.
Posture's
so
very
the other
important.
thing I would say is go and have your lessons, go and practice, but then try and find some sort of exercise regime or Pilates class or whatever it might be to make it an ongoing thing, so that you're not just doing it haphazardly, you're doing it regularly.
Have a plan.
Yes,
like everything in life. If we have a plan, it usually works out better.
Usually.
At least you can start with a plan.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much, Jann. It's been great chatting with you.
It's a pleasure. Thank you, Anne.